Okay, let's get started. It's no telling what you so-called men would do today about what's real. If you brothers got down with me, you'd see the need to stand up and make these motherfuckers, women that you meet your standards, or at least you should get some standards instead of being a Rubbermaid product with all the bending and reconfiguring that you do. The shit she wants you to do to have her is why she has you. Caller, what's up?
What's up, bud? I heard you say something about like you say to make a woman make a woman be up to your standards. I mean, make the woman be up to your standards. I've always just kind of had a standard that people had to just kind of meet me at. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I was ever able to make anybody do shit, but I feel like I could influence an outcome. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, do you have standards?
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
What are
absolutely.
the standards for what do a woman have to meet as far as your standards?
I mean, it varies, but I mean, I have to be able to sort of see a certain
No,
piece of
bro.
me
No,
in
see,
what I'm
that's
getting.
what's
You know?
wrong. That's what's wrong. You have no standards. You just say you have standards. But if you had some standards, you could articulate that. My standards, the bitch cannot be broke. She got to be living on her fucking own and taking care of herself. She can't be one of these needy women. If she's self-sufficient,
Yeah,
man, what I'm saying is these are my standards. If they were yours,
right.
you would have said it.
That's true. I might have not been able to articulate myself in that manner, but I mean,
If
those
you
are my
can't
standards. Of
articulate, if you
myself.
listen to me, man, if you can't
So that's
articulate
bare
it,
minimum for me.
bro, you got to listen. If you can't articulate it, you can't look for it because you're looking for a mirage. You're looking for something and you sort of know what it is. You know it's up, so you know to look up, but that's all you know.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for a specific answer, then I guess you could say that you're correct on that one. But I mean,
Don't you
if
think if
if
you
you're
had
looking for what I'm
specific, don't you
thinking,
think if you had specifics, I'm looking for a specific answer when I ask you what's your specifics?
I can get with that. I can agree. I can agree.
Okay, I'm saying we going over shit that we don't really need to go over because you're fighting what I'm telling you. And that's you don't have any standards. If you had standards, you would be able to say what they were as you're speaking, especially if somebody asked you what they were. But you're the one mentioned standards. And my point is if you had specifics, you would be able to verbalize them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. I understand where you're coming from. I can't argue
Okay,
your point.
listen,
I
listen.
can't argue your point.
If you can't verbalize them, you can't really look for them.
Oh, I can definitely verbalize it. I've got standards. I mean, I feel like a woman should have her own place. She should have her own money. She should have, her own car. God
Yeah,
damn
but
it,
you're
she should have
repeating what I
clothes.
said.
No, but that's bare minimum, though, brother. We can say the same things about a woman. I mean, damn,
Hey,
how
man,
much of a
listen,
difference on the
listen,
behavior,
listen,
though?
man. If we can say the same thing, we could take the same opportunity to say that same thing. I asked you
Right.
what was your standards, and you could not verbalize them. That means
I was tardy to the party. I was tardy on that one, brother. I admit. You know what I mean? You caught me slipping right there. I wasn't as quick to the punch.
all right, man. So what is your question?
Wasn't necessarily a question. I heard you say something about making somebody do some shit, and I was just Something like, I haven't really been able to make a motherfucker do anything.
Make in what regard? Are you talking about make somebody do something by force?
Yeah, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm saying an idiot might think that. I don't know. I was just throwing it out there
Okay.
though. Yeah, but I appreciate you though, brother. Let's get to it, man. I'm on the line. I'm watching.
Okay, man. Cool.
Cool.
All right. So what I'm saying is just like this brother speaking right now. He's under the illusion because he thinks he have standards. He has standards. But if you cannot verbalize your standards so you'll know what to look for, then you're just fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. Because if you have standards, otherwise, what I said and he wanted to piggyback on, that's not his standards. He couldn't say that until I did. So that's my standard. He's copying what I said. And I'm not saying he can't think the same thing I think, but if that's what he thought, he would have answered that when I asked him what he thought. So you guys play games. Don't try to play games with me. It is not really beneficial to either one of us. Playing games is for game playing motherfuckers who don't understand. It's not time. It's no time for games. The shit she wants you to do to have her is why this brother that was on the phone would be doing whatever he could to have that bitch. When he should be making her do some things to have him. You wouldn't have so many motherfucking problems getting these brand X knockoff bras. You take the same chance with any woman you get at. She can only do one of two things. She can accept what you're talking about, or she can reject what you're talking about. Today, I guess you guys would get dumped by the internet or social media. You don't care that she sees you as suckers who never think of things that we're talking about right now. But there is a sucker just waiting to run across a motherfucker that they can take care of. Most of you are lucky because if that happened, you would be lost and confused. The reason you'd be lost is none of you stand on the principles of having a woman instead of her having you. So you believe in this abadabba, you say. Well, I'll tell you something that I figured out, and maybe it'll help you. If you're about this abadabba and you depend on the information from people you interact with, especially on the internet, even if that information is good, valuable, it won't help you. When something happens to you in life, it's for a reason. It's so you can learn something you didn't know prior to having this particular problem. If you are in Indiana and you post your dilemma on Facebook, you may get several responses, but you won't get anything that's of any value, anything that's meant for you to get. If you don't stay down in the environment that fucking gave you the question, you won't get it true. You won't get the answer. For a motherfucking Indianan, it may be, for an Indian, it may be a fucking reservation. There, a motherfucking Indian will get it true. Getting shit from the internet is no different than thinking you could get it from a book. In both instances, you will simply read the information and all you're doing is reading. Life is designed to be lived. It's designed to be lived by those who go through what it takes to live it. You guys try to take shortcuts and you don't realize there are no shortcuts. The young men of today are really the true haters of what it takes to live under the motherfucking Abba Dabba rules. I was accused of being a hater. And I remember when we were in the streets and the nigga we knew came up on a business or some money and he left the game, especially if that business was somehow related to the entertainment business, like a club or a restaurant. We supported him and his fucking endeavor. We were not mad at his ass for leaving life, especially if the nigga stayed fly. He out the way now. We were glad to support his fucking ass to keep him from coming back and getting in the way. I am serious. Just because he charged us to eat at his restaurant was no reason to think he was trying to play us. Simply because we'd see him doing square shit or getting the tab when he was with a bitch didn't detract from his stature. It disgusts me to be involved in shit where niggas are mad at me for shit they spread I do. If they were real about this Abba Dabba, they would understand. They would be glad to see me doing something, long as I wasn't begging from them. They especially would if they were about this fucking Q. They don't have to spend one red cent if they didn't want to. But they would rather call me a game hater because I do not support the bullshit that they be talking. They be screaming about this motherfucking Abba Dabba. I have never lived in an era where there was so many one whole having motherfuckers claiming this Q. I hear you roasting each other about something involving whole shit. In the next second, you're screaming about how much of a macaroni you are. Real motherfuckers respect a motherfucker retiring from the streets and don't beg from niggas who stayed down. That's just how we're supposed to roll. Fuck. Have you heard the saying, many are called, but very few are chosen? Do any of you know what that means? In our lifestyle, we got to understand that people have a herd mentality. That means just as herds of bison or cattle or horses, humans flock to whatever they see someone doing. You have 100,000 bison grazing at the bank of a large river. The only thing they need to do is cross this waterway. The catch is it's full of hungry alligators. Every single one of those bisons are scared to death of being eaten by the gators. This is a herd mentality, especially when you add that I'm a bison and I start to cross first or among the first. The rest of the bison know it's very dangerous, so they continue to graze while, thinking of what to do. When another couple of them jump in to cross, the gators know they can get busy because the rest of the herd is going to cross, and they can feast. The rest of the herd sees us crossing the river, and they all join in. That's what the herd does. They're all going to join in because they see everyone else doing it. They don't think about going to another part of the fucking river and crossing. They don't think about doing anything safe. They just think about crossing because everybody else is crossing. Once I've grazed enough, I'm ready to take my chances and I dive in the river and head across. Motherfuckers see me in the river and damn near on the other side. So they dive in. And before you know it, the herd is across the river, minus a gang of them that got ate. Leaders are chosen by the path they take to lead. In order to reside among the chosen, you have to exhibit chosen qualities. Shouldn't you need to prove yourself by enduring, by taking the chance to cross that fucking river to show it can be done? I've heard some of the silliest shit about a personal friend of mine. I'm not going to repeat it, and I'm not mentioning his name. But the source I got it from, well, let's just say I believe it. When do people think they need to go out of their lane? Or why do people think they got to go out of their lane? I stay in my lane. I stayed in my lane in the streets. And when I realized it was time to change lanes, I created a new lane for me. That don't necessarily make me better than any motherfucker, but it keeps my jacket clean. That's one of the most important things you can do when you're out of the streets. Clean jackets are rare, and I have one. You guys out there in the streets, you just don't know what opportunities will come to you because you lived your life in the fast lane and left with a clean jacket. Do you know how much business knowledge you get from running a crew of bitches or a crew of niggas? Don't you realize all that lying and faking you did can help you tell a hella story in a book? You motherfuckers want to be so cheap about this epidemic. You film everything with your phone, and you want to talk about quality. Yet when quality is presented to your ass, you don't support it. It's not quality you want. It's shit to be free. That's what y'all want. I want, or I wear, so many hats because the streets taught me to be a jack of all trades, but to be sure to master one. I mastered what I did and what I'm doing because I mastered thinking. Nothing, and I do mean not a thing, will stop me from getting where I want to go. I always talk about making accomplishment. I am an example for all you motherfuckers to witness. If you really want something, you can have it. I am a brother who will always claim to be able to do the largest thing possible. When you are in life as I was, and you simply settle for what those bitches are bringing you, you should be shot. The only kind of man that succeeds in this life is a hungry man. A man who's hungrier than a tiger, than a timber wolf. A man so hungry he's wide around the mouth like Al Jolson. A hungry man is always looking for a meal. And that meal for us is the challenge of being better than all you know. No person, friend, foe, cousin, brother, or any man will be given the fucking go ahead of me card in life. I am not gracious about my self-worth, and I won't accept any short change concerning any activity I do. As men of integrity, we all should strive for perfection. I know that'll be a daunting task to be perfect, but you can do it. We can all do it. I know I did in my street life and in my square life as well. Well, I dream of coming in second place. Who, who does that shit anyway? Life is too much, and so am I. I've been consumed with doubt concerning this last phase of action I should take with my school, which means I have not stopped thinking since I began this doubt. My thing is to doubt first. I do that in order to plug all the holes that doubt showed me. In any plan I have, I doubt it first. Once I plug the holes, I still think there's something else I can do. But if I don't see it real soon, I go with what I have. It's the same way with my classes. I doubt whether they know it, which boosts my energy to teach it. This last semester forced me to redesign a previously designed class plan. I had to use a new instructional design, so I chose a plan, quality mental maintenance, and changed it to a PowerPoint presentation for my SWU new semester and tagged it with the label negative behavior. I racked my brain on what fucking to do. Should I add an audio? Should I do this or that? All week I worried until last night, after having such a good time on my show, I decided to use a mind map and map the progress. I hit my students with that idea and looking forward to the results. Of course, making a mind map presented its own set of problems, specifically how to save it to my computer. It took a while, but I figured it all out and it turned out to be what the doctor ordered. None of this would have happened for me without the severe doubt I endure from time to time. This is what I mean about being honest and real with yourself. I'm a firm believer in the fact that doubt is one of the biggest driving forces in my life. I really believe that, and I want you to start understanding doubt. I don't want you to start doubting yourself, but when doubt occurs, you have to understand it's only making you show yourself that you are on the right track, because that's what it does for me. All right, I'm gone, and hopefully this was a beneficial doggone video for you.